and welcome back to another hashtag Ask BeatleBabe Q&A session. This was requested by Robbie. Hey girl, hey. So, she submitted, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions, which I'm going to answer for you guys. Again, if you guys have more that you'd like to ask, I am always perfectly happy to do more of these videos. They're kind of one of my favorite types to make here. Just usually whenever I ask for questions, I don't get any of them. So, that's the only reason there aren't more of these videos on this channel, but I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the answers. So, and the last one, I will have to hit stop on and go watch the video in question and come back, so, but we won't worry about that yet. I meant to do that before filming this and forgot till just now when I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta do that, but anyway. So number 1, do you have a favorite Christmas memory? I have a lot of them, so trying to whittle it down to just one is really freaking hard. Christmas is my favorite time of year every year, so I have loads and loads and loads of them. I mean, many of them revolve around going over to either of my grandparents' houses for Christmas. I was lucky enough to have both sets of grandparents within a 5-minute drive. The further set away was 5 minutes away. The closer set was literally 3 houses away. So, I mean, you know, I was pretty blessed for that. But, we would always go to my Nana's house on Christmas Eve, open presents at home on Christmas morning, go to my dad's parents' house on Christmas Day, and then for dinner on Christmas Day, go back to my Nana's house. So, lots and lots of grandparents' time for that. And all of those collectively, year after year, all fall into favorite Christmas memories. Some other random ones. I mean, I know those aren't very specific, just collectively, they probably count as favorite. But, some other noteworthy ones. One Christmas Eve, I mean, the old house we lived in was a total crap shack. Like, let it be known, I grew up in a literal barn that my dad kind of retrofitted into a house, but I mean, it had its problems. Many problems. We don't live in one anymore, obviously, but the one I grew up in, yeah, it left a lot to be desired. But anyway, the roof often frickin' leaked, and this was no exception. It's not like leaks take days off for holidays, so late at night on Christmas Eve one year, apparently my dad went up on the roof to go fix one of said leaks. But being Christmas Eve, and being a little kid, all I knew was I heard someone walking around on the frickin' roof, and I was convinced it was Santa. And, hold on, I have to take another sip. Okay, but, I was convinced this was Santa. And apparently my mom must have had the same line of thought, even without knowing for sure that any of us were even awake, right? And she went outside. Like, I think she took, like, this wall-hanging thing we had on our front door at Christmas time that was, like, half of, like, a split log, which sounds weird, that had red velvet ribbons, like 4 or 5 of them hanging from it, and sleigh bells tied to each of the ribbons, and I think there was like a bow on the log. I don't know. It was kind of weird, but I mean, it was tradition. I don't know what happened to that, actually. But, anywho, I'm positive she took that off the front door and walked around near the back of the house and held it up as high as she could and just kind of jingled the bells. So the combo of hearing freaking sleigh bells plus footsteps on the roof, I was positive Santa Claus is here! But I also knew you can't go sneak out and see Santa, or I don't know what'll happen. I guess he'll disappear. Maybe you don't get presents. I don't know. But I stayed in my freaking bed. I was just like, it's like right above my head. Hi! Santa is real, I knew it! Yeah, like a week later, my mom owned up to it being them, but still insisted Santa was real, so I mean, you know, there's that. But still though, I bought it hook, line, and freaking sinker, man! And I would have been perfectly happy even if nobody had ever explained it to me and just had let me go right on believing that that was a thing. I mean, this was easy enough for them to accomplish because our old house was just like a one-story house, so it was not a high climb for my dad to get up on the roof, nor for my mom to like hold bells up and make it sound almost on the roof. I don't know. She wouldn't climb up there herself. Made her crazy when I would climb up there, because she was convinced any of us that would go up on the roof would fall down and die. Knock wood, none of us ever did, but yeah, that. But anyway, so that counts as one. There was the infamous Barbie Christmas of 1988, the last Christmas where I was an only child, and my parents knew it, and they went all freaking out, and pretty much literally every single thing I got was Barbie themed that year. I don't want to think about how many late nights they must have stayed up assembling all the playsets and attaching all the frickin' stickers and decals to all the things, but basically, any Barbie playset that existed at that time period, my dad freaking bought. Like, this was like the one insano Barbie year. After that, it was very rare that I got any actual playsets for them. That was like the year. It's like, this is your one shot, kid. We're gonna buy them all now, and we're not gonna worry about it again. Like, there was a couple here and there, but for the most part, that was it. I think he bought me like the Barbie Dream House a few years later, the one with the elevator in it. He tried to build me one, but some jerky neighbor kid literally drove a Power Wheels car through it. So, yeah, that. But anyways, somehow the accessories didn't get broken, just the dollhouse, which really sucks. But neither here nor there. But all the stuff was Barbie themed. And I lost my freaking little mind over this. I mean, 88, I would have been 3. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't take much to impress a 3-year-old. But Barbie everything for a kid who is obsessed with Barbie anyway. Oh, hell yes. Although my dad did make a tradition after that year, which is kind of weird thinking of it now. Starting at 4 years old, to buy me one of the collector Barbies every year for Christmas. Needless to say, the first handful of them did come out of the boxes and get played with, but whatever. I think somewhere around like 9 or 10, I finally started getting the concept and leaving them in the boxes and on display on shelves, but yeah, the Barbie Christmas was freaking awesome, and my mom was trying to like drop hints that she thought were subtle, but in hindsight are really freaking obvious. But I guess, again, to a 3-year-old, this is not so obvious. Like, leading up to it, painting my nails for the very first time ever, and just happened to be Barbie pink. And, like, getting me outfits that would, I don't know, match perfectly some of the outfits that they got for the dolls that they definitely already bought, that they made a point of finding little kid equivalent versions of too. Shit like that. But like basically all leading up to it that year, it was freaking awesome. Like, I think, gosh, this is like a real fuzzy memory. I know most people can't even remember when they're 3. The fact that I can is weird, but I can even remember little blips of things from when I was 2, but I mean, 3 I can actually remember pretty well, strangely enough. But I seem to recall her even like taking otherwise just plain glass, I guess they're glass ornaments, and hand painting some Barbie ones just for me. And in hindsight, I'm like, that is so freaking badass. At the time, I mean, I was just like, yay, Barbie! But in hindsight, I'm like, dude, she painstakingly spent hours on these freaking things, like doing one with the logo, doing one with basically like that silhouette stencily looking thing, except she free-handed it and thought nothing of this, and there was no convincing her that she was a great artist. Like, this still makes me nuts remembering it, that she was like that, although, who inherited this? Although I could not hold candle kind of art she did, so just throwing that out there. I am not that big-headed. I know I'm not that good. She actually was. I could show you guys sometime. Yeah, I've still got about her artwork, so anyways, so there was that year that was just all around awesome, even leading up to it. Oh, there was also the Beatle Christmas, though, when I was 14. That one. You know, obvious reasons, you know, obvious enough. Why that would be awesome to me. All culminating in, oh, by the way, Ringo tickets. But, although it wasn't the first time I was seeing Ringo, but still. But, I mean, the big freaking present that year was the Beatles anthology book, which in its first edition pressing was over $100 for a book. Granted, this book is so big and bulky and heavy, it could probably kill a chihuahua, but I mean, just saying, I didn't think I had a snowball's chance in hell of actually getting that. And I not only got that, but I got a shit ton of other stuff too. I was just like, blew my freaking mind. Yeah, that. Yes, I realize there have been subsequent pressings of that book that are much cheaper nowadays, but the first edition, that was worth a lot of money. That's the thing with Chronicle books. The first edition is always batshit insane. They've only gotten worse with their prices over the years. It's why I never get the first editions of any of Ringo's books, because I think at this point he wants like $600 to $800 a book for his first editions, and I'm like, I love him, but that's not happening. I don't have that much money, so that's... sorry. I'll wait a couple years and get future editions of them that are like, you know, $20. Anywho, that is, again, off topic. So, let's see, is there any other ones that just are very noteworthy that don't really need a lot of explanation? I think those were like the big standout ones. A lot of the other ones that I would include involve way too much build up to them and are probably worth their own damn videos. But I mean, you know, this is literally just the first question, so I'm gonna move on. Second one. Who is your least favorite celebrity of all time? You guys know this one. I know you guys know this one. Pause it. Leave it down in the comments. I know you guys know this. I'll wait. I'm waiting. Go ahead, leave it down below if you know it. I'm waiting and stop. Okay, so for those who didn't get it, the correct answer, shocker for all the times I've mentioned it, Joan Jett. And it's fucking personal, so just... I'd rather not go into my beef with Joan fucking Jett here yet again for the 10 millionth time. But yeah, it's not even just a dislike of a celebrity for them being annoying. No, I have literal personal beef with the bitch. In very close second, although not for personal beef, really, just for what all was surrounding a certain situation that happened to involve her name, Pink. But, and then one more that's worth noting that it's not so much hate, even, as it's just, she bothers me. I don't have a good reason exactly for her to bother me. She just does. But Jennifer Aniston. Maybe it's the fact that she's another Jennifer A. And I'm like, sorry bitch, there can only be one, and I'm it, so bye. But no, my issue with her has a lot more to do with back when Friends was still on the air. I think my dad must have like had a crush on her or some shit, even though he still to this day will not own up to that. But how many frigging times I had to hear, couldn't you be more like her? Which, those words are enough just make my little brain like, fuck that bitch! No, I won't be more like her, fuck her, she can go suck a dick! But, and then, I think earlier this year, one of you guys in the comments, like, completely unknowingly of this whole thing, said that on some level, I remind you of Jennifer Aniston. I was like, oh, really? I'm screen capping this? I'm showing it to my freaking dad. Ha! Someone thinks that I'm something like her on some level. I'm not sure what level, but apparently somebody sees it. So I show him this comment, he's like, yeah. On what fucking planet? And I was like, oh, bite me. So, like I said, that was not so much her or even anything she did so much as just my annoyance that commentary for years and years on end. Yeah. Plus, I mean, she was voted the most boring celebrity of all time, so, I mean, you know me, I love my celebrities dramatic, so, anyway, if they're too good, they just bore me, but anyways, yeah, there you go. Number 3, when was the happiest you've ever been? Well, I could give either a single day type happiest I've ever been answer, or I could give a time frame period answer. The suck thing is, and maybe this is the pessimist in me, maybe this is just the freaking inner emo kid in me, I don't know, but pretty much anything that I would deem to be the happiest point in my life always has to be teeter-tottered with something tragic, and as much thought as I gave to this, I couldn't think of one that didn't have a counterbalance of something that on another level makes it sad that is my freaking answer, but if we're going with the single day, single event answer, that would be meeting Davy Jones. Just hands down, pretty much, I think that was the day my life peaked. Everything's been downhill from there. I don't think there is any topping that one, unless, you know, somebody gets me to meet Ringo, and that's about the only way we're gonna top that, but I don't see that happening, so yeah, I think I peaked with Davy, but anyway, so unfortunately, the circumstances that led up to my being able to meet him counterbalance that and make it kind of sad in a way too, but the actual event itself, holy freaking balls, yeah, like, that right there, yeah, I'm pretty sure my life peaked as of that night, so I even got to kiss him, so, I mean, I also got to grab his butt, but, yeah, we're just gonna not talk about that, so, especially since his girlfriend was right there, and I think that was the moment she was like, okay, I think you've been back here long enough, oh god, okay, so if we're going for an actual time period, this is where it's gonna sound real emo kid, and I know this going in, but, I would have to say, probably while I was in my very first serious emotional relationship, because I'd never had my heart broken yet, I had never been betrayed yet, I didn't know what that kind of heartache felt like, so this was the only time in my life I had ever just been euphorically on cloud 9 every single day, every time I encountered her, just the rest of the world would basically melt away, nothing else fucking mattered. This was like my reason for living, as far as I was concerned. My life revolved around that freaking relationship, and again, because I had never been hurt that way yet, I loved with my whole heart. I had no defensive wall up. I unfortunately have to say that I've never been able to replicate that again. I've never been able to let down the defenses all the way. Ever. Anytime I even come close, always backfires. This is why I basically just don't date anymore. But that time frame, holy shit. I mean, just, I'm pretty sure that collectively, yeah, probably would have been the happiest I'd been. Unfortunately, my trust was very much shaken because this girl decided that it would be cool to use how naive I was about things to her advantage and convince me it's normal to have a girlfriend and a boyfriend at the same time, and it's technically not cheating, because, I mean, you could have a girlfriend and a boyfriend at the same time, but because they're opposite genders, that's not really cheating, they're just totally different things. Yeah. Yeah. That's how that one ended up. So, worst part, I actually was dumb enough to buy it for the longest time. I probably wasted a good year in that phase of it, but the first year of it, this was just not a thing. So, yeah, that. I hadn't learned to be jealous yet, I hadn't learned to be neurotic in relationships yet, just was happy with the whole thing, and just, it really sucks that I have never really replicated that again. Oh well. But just say, like I said, total emo kid answer, but at the same time, technically, yeah, I think that actually would be it. Okay, number 4. Do you like pickles? I kind of have, like, this love-hate thing with them, but only because when I was little, I used to frigging love them. Like, stupidly love them. To the point where my dad couldn't go to the grocery store without me begging him to buy another frickin' jar of pickles, which I would devour within the week before he went to the store again. This is not counting going over to either of my grandparents' houses and also devouring all of their pickles. And I mean, I guess it was inevitable that I would eventually hit burnout on them. And it's not like it was always the same kind or anything either. Like, I ran the gamut through all different sorts that you can find in just a general supermarket, and I loved them all. I freaking loved them all. I loved how just vibrant and bold the taste was, how it's like basically punching you in the mouth with flavor. They're salty, they're sour, but they're also sweet. It's a complex flavor that is really hard to describe, and I loved that shit, and I was so into it. And then one day, I just burnt out on them, and pretty much didn't touch them again for years and years, and even now I'm like, there's just like a couple on like a burger or something, I'm not gonna pick them up, I'll eat them, but I'm also not gonna go out of my way to put them on a burger if I'm assembling the burger. So, there's that. My one wild card, however, are sweet pickles. I still like those, but with my janky back teeth, it is really hard to eat them unless they're really thinly sliced, so there's that. But yeah, like I said, kind of love-hate thing with pickles, but there was a point where they were like one of my favorite friggin' things, so there's that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say you like meeting new people? 10 would be you love it, 1 would be no way, Jose. I would say this has a lot to do with the parameters surrounding meeting said new people. Like, if this were in a setting where it's just, like, total freaking strangers, like, say, a school setting, or, well, I would say a work setting, but I've never actually had a traditional job, so I mean, I guess that goes out the window, but fine, just, like, out in public somewhere, and it's just, like, random frigging strangers that, you know, I mean, I'm a lot more guarded in those sort of situations because I have no idea going into it that this is going to be a thing, so my social anxiety doesn't really get a chance to prepare for it, and it's kind of too busy freaking out to be able to enjoy it much most of the time. There's exceptions to that rule, like if somebody's really awesome, obviously I'm gonna enjoy that. But most of the time, I would say probably in those situations, maybe about a 5. It's not the worst thing on earth. I don't hate it, but I have a lot of anxiety around it. If I can talk to them long enough to get over the anxiety, it may jump up to a 7, but otherwise, if it's just like a very brief encounter, like the whole time I'm like sitting there silently panic attacking. Now, if it's in a situation where I know I'm going to be meeting somebody for the first time, be this some sort of online forum where I know there's going to be new people, be this a meetup sort of thing in person, doesn't matter, I know going into it this is gonna be a thing, socializing's gonna be a thing, then I would say an 8. Like, straight up 8, because I have time to mentally prep for it and be cool with it, and actually, you know, there was a point where I would have said nope, just nope, but, you know, I feel like maybe partly even just because I've gotten used to talking to people, even just through a camera situation, that it kind of doesn't bother me anywhere near as much anymore if I know there's something in common that we have in common that we can base conversation on. If nothing else, if all else fails, we can resort back to that. So in those sort of situations, I do enjoy it. So I don't think I'd quite put it at a 10, but I do enjoy it considerably when it's something like that. So, or if it's, sorry, I have an itchy eye, but if it's something like, say, a concert where we're all fans of the same person, oh, then I'm in my frickin' element. I might even put it in a 9 there. So I'll just talk to frickin' anybody of these. And at certain artist shows around here, I am pretty much on a first name basis with quite a few people, even people who I didn't personally meet, they just know of me, and it's kind of cool, but anyway. Yes, I'm talking about Ringo's shows. Oh god, okay. So, next question. In your opinion, the best place to shop for office supplies is blank. Well, part of this depends on timing. Part of this depends on what specific office supplies you're trying to get. So, I mean, if you don't mind waiting for back to school time, I would say Office Supply, Office Max, or Office Supply, Office Max, Office Depot, probably my go-to. Used to be Staples, but they got rid of the one that used to be near here, so I mean, that's a moot point. Nobody wants to drive as far away as the nearest one is now. So, that's like the closest, like, specific office supply store to here, and lucky me, I happen to love it, but, if it's something, like, really oddly specific, and you can wait a day or two for it, I would say Amazon, actually. You can, a lot of times, get better prices, but not always. It depends what it is. This is why you gotta comparison shop, and if it's something that you know you're gonna need in advance, if it's something that's gonna go on sale at back to school time, Office Depot. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, I rely on it every year for a handful of things. I would have gotten more this year. I just had basically no money at the time that I got to go. If this had been a week or two earlier, I would have bought a lot more. But anyway, but yeah, those are kind of my go-tos. There's certain things that you could even get at, like, the dollar store that makes no real difference in their quality. But it just depends. It really depends. So, okay. What is your favorite swear word? Those of you who've spent much of any time at all on this channel already know how much I fucking love the word fuck. So, I mean, this is kind of no surprise. Also, fun fact, if you go way back to the very, very first uploads that are still on this channel, because I say that are still there because I actually had a few years worth of stuff that had been on here that got deleted just out of embarrassment before these, but I have some clips from Liza Minnelli on Inside the Actor's Studio, and one of them is her favorite words, including her favorite curse word, and oh my god, this is like one of my favorite things that she's possibly ever done. James Lipton asks her, so Liza, yes, Liza May, oh no, what is your favorite curse word? And she looks around, she's like, and she just lets this tumble out so easily, but she also says it cutely in a way, and motherfucker cocksucker. And it's like, what? What? Bitch said what? Like, I watched this when it very first aired, I was like screaming on the freaking floor. I was like, holy shit! It's like, wow, if she already hadn't ranked as highly in my book as she did before that day, that just put her up like 100 notches. Like, oh my god, that is why I leave it up. It's just like one of my favorite things of hers ever. So, if that sounds like something you want to watch, just like go to like the oldest uploads on this channel, as I've still got it there, so. Have you ever heard the song or seen the video for Little Mama's Lipgloss? If so, what do you think? Be honest. And this is where I have to stop this video and go watch it and report back. I meant to watch it before recording this. I'm gonna be honest, I had neither heard it, seen it, or heard of it before your question, which is why I need to go, I guess, watch it, and I'll report back on my honest thoughts, good, bad, or otherwise, on this song, so hold on. Okay, I just finished watching it. Okay, honest thoughts, it's cringy as all hell. but it's hilarious. I was laughing my ass off through most of it. I mean, admittedly, it's not really my genre of what I typically listen to, but at the same time, it held my interest beginning to end, not gonna lie, but oh my god, like, yeah, it's dumb, but I mean, it's funny dumb, it's enjoyable dumb, so thank you for pointing me in the direction that I had no idea it existed, and it's hilarious. So, anyway, guys, that was the last question for this Q&A. If you guys want to see me do more of them, you have to give me questions to answer, so do that, because I told you, I really do enjoy making these. I need questions to answer to make them. So, anyways, that is it for this one. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below, including any questions for another one of these that you'd like to see. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, they're all listed down below, and if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. So anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.